Hunk of earth, pulsar, little drum walking on a big drum. Pain comes, red as a punishment, and I am in here, holding together the bent bone, begging my egg to leave in her clotted gown. Leave me, pain. I am reminded. The acorn of my mind is buried back in this field of filth and pleasure. Thunder for a meal, watering for a good touch. The knife slips and I am the onion, losing my skin. Snake mother, mother who gave me gills. Ancient mother whose skull is kept in a box with the extinct. My fur, my melodies, the hungry way I smell water. Body, chipping. Body on a height over rocks. So clutched to daylight, so shaped for receiving. Hello, everyone. I'm Laura, and I'm really excited and honored to be here tonight with you. The theme for this first night of the 7 days of silence is body, and we'll get more into that in a minute. But first, I just wanted to welcome everyone here on Earth Day, and it's the new moon, which I always think of as a good day to start something new and get things off on the right foot. So I'm glad to be starting this cycle with you. And I want to invoke and give thanks to all the people whose lives led to us being here together, the ancestors of this land that we're on, and the ancestors in our blood that gave us life, and all the poets and librarians and knowers of plants and all the wise people whose teachings we've received and have gotten us here. So I feel really lucky that we're here tonight together. So we probably all have different reasons why we're going to be silent for the next 7 nights together. And I'm going to share a couple of my reasons. I've had some experiences with eras of silence in my life. And I usually find that when I manage to shut my mouth and discard my cell phone, I get to pay attention to the trains of thought that need a little bit more time to reach their destination. And I have also found that doing it by myself is extremely difficult. It's a lot easier to create that type of silence when you have a community to do it with. So that's really honestly why I suggested this when Christina and Janaea asked what I wanted to do, because I wanted to offer something that meant that that was something I wanted to do, but I needed other people to make me do it. So that's why I suggested this as a group activity. And I've come up with a sort of syllabus, I guess, or just an arc that we're going to follow together. But I want to suggest from the beginning that whatever this container is for you is perfect. So if you want to just commit to the silence part and kind of just loosely follow along with the arc that I've come up with, that's fine. Or if you want to do all the readings and meditations and activities that I suggest over the course of the week, that's great too. This is a container for whatever insights you're seeking in this time. I've found that ever since the quarantine began, there's been this kind of chaotic combination of me wanting to use this time to deepen my meditation practice and deepen my art practice, and at the same time a sort of distracting state of mind where I feel like I need to be checking in with my loved ones a lot, and like, why am I not reading a million books, or why haven't I like produced my great masterpiece yet? So I guess another part of this silence is just to kind of like open the space for there to be a little bit less pressure of what we're producing, but also a little bit more space for us to see how we're supposed to use our energy and what our destiny is in this time and beyond. So I guess I'll start with what is silence. And the simple version for us, for our sake in this week, is no talking and no screens. Oh, my cat is meowing at the door. I need to let him in. Hello. Thank you for tolerating that. So yeah, no talking and no screens. And other additional aspects of silence can include not reading and writing, because those are sort of communicative activities. And then that's basically as far as I'm going to go in terms of suggestions, and you can come up with what you want to do beyond that. But for my sake, I'm going to basically stick to closing all my devices by 9 p.m. and quieting my mouth. And I'm not gonna just like read a novel. Maybe I'll take a look at like some book that pops off the shelf at me, but I'm gonna try to mostly keep it low on the text too. Okay, so now Janae is gonna help me go through the kit that I sent out today. And
Yep.
There'll be a kit every day that kind of takes us through that day's theme. So tonight's work is both to open up the space that you're going to kind of designate for, yeah, let's look at day 1 today. Yeah, so tonight we're going to open up, everyone's going to open up the space for their corona of love, which I'll explain in a minute. And then do a little bit of practice with today's theme, which is the body. So every night of this 7 days, we'll have a theme. And one of the parts of the nightly practice is to find in yourself a question whose answer you're listening for that night and all week. If you want to choose one overarching question that you just put in at the beginning of the week and learn about all week, that's fine. Or you can, I'm going to be putting a new question in every night. So now can we look at the template for the Corona of Love? Okay, so this is something you can make somewhere in your home that's kind of like a quiet corner or something. And you can make it on a piece of paper or on a piece of fabric. And it doesn't have to look anything like my demonstration from Google Draw, but this is just like a diagram, you know. So the circle is a protective, loving circle that you're going to create around your question vessel and the names of people who need your blessings right now. I know a couple of people who have COVID-19 right now, and I can think of a lot more people who I don't know personally who are vulnerable at this time and in need of protection and healing and love. So tonight and every day continuing, we can add the names of people who we want to hold in our hearts and our minds to the inside of this circle. You might choose to put some candles in there too, or any other special objects or substances that, oh my gosh, the cat's drinking the water. Any other special things you want to put inside that space to sanctify it. And then at the very center of the circle, you're going to find a cup or a bowl or some other special vessel to be your question vessel. And that is where you'll put your piece of paper with a question every night. Does anyone have any questions about this part of the nightly practice?
You can ask through the chat, or if you'd like to speak, just raise a hand.
So that's something we'll get off the call definitely before 9, and you can set that up. So then maybe let's go back to day 1. So tonight's practice is getting into our bodies. After you've set up your corona of love, hopefully maybe in the place where you set that up, you can do some physical practice that feels good to you. Get it just moving. Try to get your body moving in a way that feels good. And then oil yourself up, rub yourself down with oil or lotion. And yeah, I guess other ways you like to get ready for bed, maybe in a sort of spa night type of way. And then when you're feeling comfortable and anointed, you can find a place to sit. And the meditation that I included in tonight's kit is a meditation called Listening Abiding, which was taught to me by a teacher named Shambhavi, and I included a recording of her teaching that practice. And it's a simple meditation, and I found it to be really amazing teaching about listening. And sometimes it takes a couple days worth of practicing or weeks worth of practicing it to really feel it settle into your body. So try it tonight, and if you like it, you could stick with it into the future. But it felt like a good way to start off this week of listening. And then after you've meditated for as long as you want to, you can find your question for the night and write it on a piece of paper and put it in your question vessel. And then the rest is silence, and you can decide what that means for you. I know that everyone has different home situations right now, and I encourage you to tell the people who you live with that you're doing this so that they can honor it and protect it with you, or you can invite them. I know that I've got an 8-year-old hang out at my house a lot of the time these days, and when I told him that 9 a.m. that we were going to be quiet till 9 a.m., he totally rocked it with us. So it's possible with kids around too. So yeah, then we'll have whatever happens in the night. I just encourage you to kind of keep yourself in the receptive while you're in your silence, including while you're dreaming. And then there's some practice for when we're waking up too. So on waking, before you kind of pop out of bed, try to prolong the moment of being awake with your eyes closed and retain the impressions from your sleep, what you were dreaming about, what colors were there, and also kind of like the mood or feeling of the day, which actually is usually different than the mood or feeling of falling asleep. It's a new day and there's a new feeling. So try to let yourself receive that impression before you open your eyes. And this will be part of the practice every day, is to go directly outside if you can, or at least go to a window and open the window and take some deep breaths. I said 11. continuing to kind of receive impressions of the new day that you're in. And then in a journal or on some paper somewhere, record your impressions from sleep and from waking. And then tomorrow morning, there's some guidance for continuing the body practice, involving lying on the floor and stretching, and then standing up and getting your heart beating in whatever way you like to do that, if you can. And then finding your heartbeat and your senses. And once you've moved through those check-ins with your body, you can take last night's question out of the vessel. And if you have any more notes you need to make in your journal about the question you asked and what you heard or thought about, go for that. And then moving back into speech, try to do that intentionally. It's a really special opportunity to have been silent and move out of silence. And some of the kits a little later in the week will go more into depth about moving into speech. But I encourage you from the beginning to give thanks for the silence that you've had, and then be intentional about how you move into speech, and remain in a state of listening for the talkative part of the day too. Does anyone have any questions about this day's kit? And the other template that I sent out is sort of a general template for every day that you can kind of refer to as the days go by. But it's pretty much a little bit of an elaboration on some of the record keeping, but otherwise pretty much what we just went through. And I'll leave it mostly suspenseful, but I wanted to say the names of the themes of the coming nights too. So tomorrow's theme is breath. Then the next day, which will be Friday night, is personhood. The fourth night will be called higher beholding. The fifth night is dream date. The sixth night is wise guides. And the last night is called emergence. And as an option, Sunday is dream date. And that's a day that will be all focused and culminating on what happens in our dreams. And I encourage you to think of that entire day, even before you get the kit that night, to think of your entire day as a date with yourself for dreaming. And if you want to, you could maybe even try to keep silence all day on Sunday, or just be sparing. Save yourself for the night on Sunday if you can. I think that's pretty much the overview that's necessary right now. And I'm interested if there's anyone out there who has any blocks or concerns that they want to brainstorm with the group about how to make this work in their lives.
Everyone's unmuted if they want to be unmuted.
Maybe this is kind of easy peasy.
I just feel grateful to have the community to do this with, so thanks, Laura.
I'm so grateful too.
I wanted to say that I'll be starting my silence when I go to bed, because my partner has potentially been exposed to coronavirus, and so talking is the way that we're connecting right now.
Any other things that people want to share about the coming week?
Oh, Laura, you and I talked about how nightly singing is a thing that I do when I'm like in the 9 to 9 time, or the 9 to before I go to sleep time, and so that's been that is a thing that we both kind of agreed should stay, even if the intentional talking is you know singing and talking are two different things and have two different uses for me, at least.
Yeah. And I'm sure everyone here has certain practices that they're already devoted to that are really healthy and rich for them. And I encourage you to fold them into this time of silences, however feels right. So on next Wednesday at this time, a week from today at 9 or at 8 o'clock, we'll have the culminating call to kind of come together and close this week of practice that we've had. So I hope you all decide to come back for that, and we'll greet one another with all the new wisdoms we've discovered in that time. So if no one has any other things they want to say, I'm gonna share a Hafiz poem that I found for tonight, and then I'm gonna ring the bell to start our week together. And then we can all silently, well, it's only 8:36, but symbolically we can silently wave each other off into the sunset.
Laura, before you do that, we'll just do like a short plug for the other artists and adaptive practices.
Great.
If that's okay. Thank
Please.
you. Just to say that we are, adaptive practices is 6 artists, as we mentioned at the beginning of this meeting, and all of whom have been Providence Public Library Creative Fellows. Right now there is a phenomenal set of mixes being produced by Micah Salkind. Tomorrow night there will be or Friday night rather, there will be a set of presentations as part 2 of An Ode to Home by Becky Davis. And then a week from today, Walker Metling will be doing a 24-hour comic drawing marathon. And all of these things are on the Adaptive Practices site, which is in the chat. Plug over, unless I have missed anything. All right, thank you.
All right. Before I read this poem, I just want to say that I hope you all stay healthy and well, and that everyone you love is healthy and well and protected during this time. Kate, I'm really sorry to hear that your partner was exposed, and I hope they stay healthy. This poem it's by Hafiz, and it's called Your Seed Pouch. Lanterns hang from the night sky so that your eye might draw one more image of love upon your silk canvas before sleep. Words from him have reached you and tilled a golden field inside. When all your desires are distilled, you will cast just 2 votes: to love more and be happy. Take the sounds from the mouth flute of Hafiz and mix them into your seed pouch. And when the moon says it is time to plant, why not dance? Dance and sing.